cerebellum. That's why I'm here to tell them. Giving up to fears is why terror's dwelling. Shaking every nerve, got you quaking like the earth. Could make you think your birth was mistaken for a curse. But yo, if you're here, trust in your chance. It's tough to advance, ain't it just to this dance? Careful it becomes dust in the glance. No matter how you live it, so how you wanna live it. Like, what's it really mean to ya? Life we really want us some likes on social media. Niggas here feeding bruh, starving for attention. Hard for one to mention that it's all for acceptance. Those raw imperfections make us who we are. It seems so bizarre, but there's no need to hide it or even try to mask it with some lies and disguises. Be true to yourself and you might be surprised with how all your flaws can become all your prizes. I know what it is to deal with life and bills. I know that regrets can put your spine on chill. I know it's impossible, can't become real. Don't take my word, just imagine how it feels. Cause
there's no one like you. There's no one like you. There's no one like you.
To believe it, that one day I'll achieve it. Peace and prosperity from life and all the secrets. So before I leave this world full of leeches, always let my soul shine, hoping that it reaches each adult and child for at least 1,000 miles. On my way north, I'll change it down to smiles. When it comes to this, no telling where you'll go. Where you trust the light, you just gotta let it show. Yeah, don't let it bring you down. Life's too short, so never be too proud. Up to you to make it work out. Yeah, won't let them bring me down. Life's too short, so I can only smile. Up to me to make it worthwhile. Yeah, don't let them bring me down. Life's too short, so never be too proud. Up to you to make it work out. Yeah, won't let them bring me down. Life's too short, so I can only smile. Up to me to make it worthwhile. Things won't stay the same. Gotta make a change. If this doesn't work, there's just me to blame. Things won't stay the same. Gotta make a change. If this doesn't work, there's just me to blame. It's hard to really see that there's more to ordinary. There's a little extra, but it comes with more to carry. Burden's even greater now, and the course is scary. And to seem uncertain why, cause your course it varies. We all have a journey, decided I was worthy. Even if it's one or a million that have hurt me. When it comes to this, no telling where you'll go. Where you trust the light, you just gotta let it show. Yeah, don't let them bring you down. Life's too short, so never be too proud. Up to you to make it work out. Yeah, won't let them bring you down. Life's too short, so I can only smile. Up to me to make it worthwhile. Yeah, don't let them bring you down. Life's too short, so never be too proud. Up to you
doesn't work, then just be a play. One day you gon' see everything you need. You have, and you're right where you need to be. One day you gon' see everything you need. You have, and you're right where you need to be.
Damn, I can feel it falling. Faith in myself, my angels keep on calling. Trying to stay grounded, so I'll still be crawling. But that's not enough, I need to quit my stalling. Look around, you'll see that these times are passing. No more excuses, now it's time for action. Do what most can, and that's find a passion. Fam looking at me like, how'd you wind up rapping? I don't know, I just needed something different. So much on my mind, and I wanted y'all to listen. Then I grabbed the mic, and I found what was missing. Now I chase a vision of life with all the fixings. Only takes one, so I grin and bear the price. Some nights come with both despair and strife, but when it's all done, you feel prepared for life. Funny, I remember being scared of heights.
No more. Sometimes you just don't know what to do or where to go. Stay strong.
Yeah. I don't do this for the money or the fame. I just want y'all to feel me. Know what I mean?
One day you gon' see everything you need. You have, and you're right where you need to be.
Just know that you decide what matters. Always trust your heart, yo, push aside the chatter. Made a few mistakes that left me bruised and battered. Still I hold my dreams, I'll never let them shatter. What some may call a waste, I'd rather call investing. 10,000 hours in this art of self-expression. More than just focused, yo, this shit is an obsession. But I'm always grateful, it gave the kid direction. Crazy how great ended start with small beginnings. Learn to build myself up, cause it's all within them. Doing the impossible, and now this wall is given. People need that real shit, you see what draws hitting. I'd be wrong if I ever let them starve. We find who we are through the past that we carve. Used to aim for skies, now I'm pulling down the stars. Here to let them know that this world is ours.
Sometimes you just don't know what to do or where to go. Stay strong. Sometimes you just don't know what
promises, I'll walk like I have it. Want to get it done, so now there's no trying. With my fist iron, I roll like a lion. But I brought it back. Wanna fuck with me, then you better offer stacks. Man, myth, legend, fam, yeah, I'm all of that. Fight for what you love, and you might catch a case. Cause for the ones I love, I'll do anything it takes. Never was the type who could sit and play a role. It's J-La Soul to the day I go. Will I fall or be the one to stand? Sometimes all of them won't understand. Will I fall or be the one to stand? Sometimes all of them won't understand. Feel it in endorphins, not about bullshit, that nigga stay endorsing. What I came to claim is more than just a portion. Just a young king that's trying to build his fortune. Do it with these hands that I hold a new torch in. Hearts turning cold, my fire keeps scorching. Industries filled with nothing but extortion. J-La Soul, I've come to kick the doors in. Thing about music is I can feel it coursing through every vein that I hold, no remorse in. I won't back down, no, I can't stop. Wasn't ready. $1 billion dreams, still I'm only in my 20s. Trying to stay humble while I grind, stacking pennies. Burdens on my shoulders and only getting heavy. When it came to friends, yo, I used to have plenty. Then I stepped out and now there's barely any. Till I realized can't move how the rest do. Know when you do, man, this world won't accept you. Gotta understand there's times it'll test you. Going through pain is how to find the best you. I won't back down, no, I can't stop. It could be the realest thing all around the globe, yo, we all feel this pain. Hoping one day that these words will change. Someone out there who may feel the same. People told me no about every time I tried. Rather give my all than sit behind some lies. Never been content with working 9 to 5, man. I'ma find a way, cause in my mind I hides everything I want as well as everything I need, yo. Through my fucking poetry, it's everything I bleed. Everything I'm not, made me everything I'll be. Before my sun sets, it's everything I'll see. I wasn't put in to be living by the norm. Find out who I was sitting in the storm. Now I look around and my vision taking form. There's no regrets about my decision to be more. I Let's set the record straight, come check the resume. Understand I'm not someone you can underestimate. Just let the message play till they take my breath away. Trust when I say, not that kid from yesterday. Grew the fuck up and overcame the lows. When you stand for yourself, bound to gain some foes. Anything opposing me will never come close to me. Y'all can throw your dirt, I'll make it change to gold. So let me take a second, cause it came to my attention. Niggas talk about the illest, but forgot to mention soul, I'm obnoxious with punchlines, rockin' shit. Got them seeing stars on some Team Rocket shit. Ha, just wait, I'll grab the nation. Niggas call you crazy when you use imagination. Then they switch up when they see the cash you making. Come around me, it ain't hard to catch you faking. That's why nowadays, man, what you see is scripted. If you hear me talk about it, realize that I lived it. No more room to hesitate, nor will I ever break. Drop school, cause there's degrees and ways to educate. Came to the game to bring a new perspective. My only hope in time is my heart will be reflected. Fucking industry where the artistry's neglected. Can't sell my soul, where to all of me's respected. Just imagine all that could happen if you took some action on the goals that attracted. Side to cerebellum, that's why I'm here to tell them. Giving up to fears is why terror's dwelling. Shaking every nerve, got you quaking like the earth. Could make you think your birth was mistaken for a curse. But yo, if you're here, trust in your chance. It's tough to advance, ain't it just to this dance? Careful it becomes dust in the glance. No matter how you live it, so how you wanna live it. Like, what's it really mean to ya? Life we really want us some likes on social media. Niggas here feeding bruh, starving for attention. Hard for one to mention that it's all for acceptance. Those raw imperfections make us who we are. It seems so bizarre, but there's no need to hide it or even try to mask it with some lies and disguises. Be true to yourself and you might be surprised with how all your flaws can become all your prizes. I know what it is to deal with life and bills. I know that regrets can put your spinal chill. I know it's impossible, can't become real. Don't take my word, just imagine how it feels. Cause
there's no one like you. There's no one like you. There's no one like you.
Funk Family Showcase as a special guest, well, all you have to do is email us at funkinterns@gmail.com. Hey everyone, welcome to Funk Family Showcase. I can't for the life of me remember what episode it is, but we are up there. We are in our 20s. It's like Funk Family Showcase has reached adulthood. So you can follow us on YouTube. Just subscribe to our page, Funkadelic Studios, Funk Family Showcase. And I have today a special guest. We have here the perennial millennial himself, Evan Alexander Moore.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. We kind of like look like we're two different species of like animals, but that's why we had to move the cameras because like he's like 2 feet taller than I am. But other than that, we're dealing with it. So Evan is such an interesting character. He's one of these. A lot of our guests have been these really worldly people who are like very experienced in different areas of life, and they just bring that into their music. And I feel like Evan definitely has that quality because he. Is it true that you're going to grad school for psychology?
Yes. So I'm going to grad school for psychology. I want to study and become a therapist, a counselor, and kind of basically learn the craft of learning about people and learning how to help them. So,
I think that's really cool. And would you say that skill applies to your music and to your songwriting in a way?
Yeah, a little bit. A lot of it is kind of, especially songs with characters or stories around them. I try to get into the psychology and really try to understand why this character is doing whatever it is they're doing, and kind of getting the psychology of like the narrator versus the characters in the story. Because I play folk music, folk is so contingent upon story and upon people. So I think it's actually a marriage that actually works.
I totally agree. Yeah, I think that that's a really astute way of putting it. Because you probably know a lot more about the history of folk music than I do. I'm actually taking an anthropology class in school, and they mentioned like Bob Dylan in my actual class, and I know he's one of your big influences. So
for sure.
It's really interesting because I actually he got mentioned in 2 of my academic courses this year. Mm-hmm. One of my Hebrew history professor actually said that he teaches a class on Bob Dylan, and it calls his music like the music of tragedy, like tragedy as a genre. And so I was wondering like what your take on it was, and like how Bob Dylan influences you, and how you sort of see yourself as part of the new shape of folk to come.
Yeah.
To coin a term of yours.
Define what you mean by take on that. I heard you use that terminology.
Well, I guess like your like interpretation of what folk music really is, and where it's going, and what you're doing.
I have some of the people who grew up on Bob Dylan may totally disavow what I say here, but I think to me folk music is music of the people, and just even I'm not like well versed in like every single tradition, but it's what I said it is. It's the music of folks. And it's all about being very simple with your instrumentation,
right.
And it's just about picking up something like a guitar, and just playing a song and playing around your friends and playing around, the town, the village. Everywhere you go, there's some sort of folk tradition, whether it's like Scottish folk, there's Spanish folk, then there's American folk, and then there's Irish folk and English folk music. Yeah. It's really just about being very simple and being accessible to people, and that's what folk music means to me.
Right.
And I think where folk music is now is obviously it's been kind of coined and turned into if you have a guitar and you're playing and you're playing the guitar, then you're playing like what people might consider folk music. But in my opinion, I think folk music has become, just because it's been so heavily doctored and moved around, and it's become kind of like a rich man's type of music, in my opinion.
Interesting.
I actually think hip hop is folk music now. It's so easy. All you need to do is just press press play, and if you have a mic or if you're just hanging around with friends and you just play some kind of loop of something, that's way more accessible than it is to buy a $150, $200 guitar. Really, with that, you just need access to internet, and you know, back in the 70s and 80s when the tradition was first coming along, it was really just like, okay, I have this record player, I'm gonna spin something and maybe like get some kind of loop out of it, and it was really just, hip hop is so grassroots, and it's the same kind of grassroots that folk music used to be.
That's a really great explanation. You should like write a whole dissertation on that.
I would like
thesis,
to. That'd be really fun.
You should put it on your blog or your website or whatever. Okay, so let's get into your first song, and then I'll ask you about your new project, about everything. And
sure.
Don't worry, I'm going to ask you lots of other things. But what's the name of this first song?
This first song is it's a very long song, so I'm going to do the second half of it. It is part 2 of The Tired and Poor.
Okay, great.
Children go? Are they torn from their mothers with no reason or plan? Will they get into gangs or sold into slavers' hands? Where, oh where did the 1,500 children go? Where, oh where did the 1,500 children go? Are they thrown into cages? Do they sleep on the floor? Are they praying to a god that's on our dollars and quarters? Where, oh where did the 1,500 children go? 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 Everyone says they would fight off a Nazi until it's the brown kid getting torn from his family. I hope their parents that are seeking asylum find silver linings in the jails that we send them. Escaping wars just to become a criminal. Divide families in a nation indivisible. What's it really about? Keeping us all safe? Or is it deep-seated hate from another race? Well, I hope what you've done's gonna keep you awake and it rinse at your conscience till you're dead in the grave. If you take your children, send them to broken homes. ICE, Lamigra, American Gestapo. Where, oh where did the 1,500 children go? Where, oh where did the 1,500 children go? I guess we don't need the tired and wired, the undesired and poor.
What's up, y'all? It's your man Fuge, and I'm here at Funkadelic Studios. We do a show here every second Saturday. It's called Level Up Showcase, and it features youth performers and veteran artists, some of the best in the city and out of the city. So do you want to perform? Do you want to level up? Hit us up on Instagram or Twitter at Level Up Showcase. Every second Saturday. I'll see y'all here.
Wow, that was really touching. That song got to me. I feel like, wow. It's that song. I think I know what it was about. It's about our current administration a little bit.
Yes, it is.
Some people call him Fart. I'm not going to say his name.
Mr. Fart.
Mr. Fart.
I don't care to say his name. I'd rather talk about. I'd rather talk about the people that not only him but many people are choosing to affect.
No, please explain that, because I feel like it got to me, because it's sort of the word tired and poor, like that was originally the slogan is that originally the motto of America was like the Statue of Liberty holding your torch, and it was like the slogan at some point was like bring us your tired and your poor, and so that song is about like we don't need them. It's like we're going to turn everybody away.
Well, I mean, it's not saying that.
No, I know
more
it's not. It's like pointing to the people.
Out
That's what they're saying.
How you know the people in power who so hold up the ideals of America are really not adhering to them at all. They don't really care about
They're hypocrites.
about it. They're hypocrites.
I feel like that's such an important and relevant song for what we're going through today, and it's like it's really moving to listen to it.
Thank you so much.
And it's like that line about like the Nazis, where it's like I say I'd kill a Nazi, but when it's a brown kid whose life is at stake, I don't care. Like it's so it's like it's so amazing how some people only look out for their own. Yeah, and I feel like it's really in the spirit of folk music and like the Joan Baez and Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell tradition to like write about like social issues that are relevant, but I feel like they keep coming up over time.
And I'm one who thinks traditional folk music has kind of strayed away from it. Like I believe the last huge just groundbreaking folk album, I say groundbreaking in big air quotes, is probably Mumford & Sons, maybe Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah.
And they have some good songs, but it just really doesn't fit that how I see folk music, which was really very kind of punk and cared about social issues.
Right.
Woody Guthrie famously had on his guitar right up on the top and around. It said "This machine," it was one little spot right here, and written on his guitar it said "This machine kills fascists."
Yeah, that's still a very famous quote. I think that was also mentioned in my anthropology class. Like, I think it says something that like 2 academic courses at Hunter College mentioned folk music and folk like people who were like folk sensations back in the day, because I feel like that it says that it's still having profound effects and it's going down in history what some of these people have done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that. So this is going on your new album, right?
That's on my EP, which is out right now. It's self-produced, kind of like a little bedroom folk album. And that is the second part of one song. It's a whole like 5-minute song.
I know the rest of it.
I don't want to take up so much time, but that's the second half of the song "Tired and Poor." It's a little 7-song thing. It's on everything. The next project is called The Perennial Millennial.
Right. And can you explain? I love that title so much, and I know what it means because we're friends, and like you told me, and also because I looked it up. But it's such a great I love that title. So just explain to the audience what that means and how it's
perennial millennial.
Yeah.
So it kind of comes from the idea of flowers. Perennial flower is one that doesn't die as the seasons change, and it just so happens to rhyme with millennial, which is one of those generations where they're either mistaken for the what they're calling the Gen Z or the I generation, so they're mistaken a lot for that, and they're just always blamed for any societal ill or any industry that is failing, and they, pundits, writers, baby boomers like to go, oh, well, this bad thing is happening. It must be those darn kids. It must be those darn kids. So I wanted to write an album just about that idea of like, oh, well, we're destroying everything. Is that right? And kind of question that, and then obviously there are just a bunch of songs that aren't about that necessarily, but it's definitely like focused on that, and there's a loose concept going through the album. That's
so cool. And just to respond to that, I think it's pretty hypocritical of baby boomers to talk about us that way, because I think we're called the echo boomers, actually. That's another nickname for the millennial generation, and I think I could be like his older sister. I'm the same generation. I'm like a few years older, but we're the same generation. So it's some people refer to us as the echo boomers, because a lot of us are the children of baby boomers, and so whatever we are doing wrong, it's like because of what they taught us. But also, I feel like it's so that concept is so interesting in terms of your album because, and in terms of your style, because like the people who influenced the baby boomer generation were the Bob Dylans, and the people who had the people who were doing like the big folk renaissance that came in the '60s.
Yeah.
And I feel like now it's almost like we're a continuation of that in a way, or we're kind of like we're echoing that. We're definitely like I feel like we're like the neo hippies or something. There's like a thesis to be made for that, and I feel like you're definitely bringing it out in your songwriting. So could you we're gonna move into your next song, and you could explain like how that applies. This is from is this from the album?
Yes, this is from the album. Mm-hmm.
And so what's the name of the song?
The name of the song is Background Actors.
Oh, cool. So explain what that's about.
Background Actors is kind of a little bit of a manifesto for millennials, but it's also about feeling like the people in your life don't treat you as a human, but treat you as kind of like, oh, you're meant as a background actor. You're not a lead character in their life. So that's what that's about.
I can relate to that. I can identify. Okay, let's hear it.
With all the destruction, all the depravity, and all the construction here. Oh, everyone's gonna look down on you like an alien specimen. But I ain't Sigourney Weaver, I ain't Richard Dreyfuss circa 1977. But I just want a job and I want some security. Everybody's cashing checks out Wells Fargo, and I'm okay with being a part of the machine, but I don't want to be part of your movie scenes. Oh, I just got some shit I need to own, and I gotta do it all alone. No one can hear you scream into your space heater, so don't ask me nothing, I won't ask you neither. But I just want a job and I want some security. Yeah, I'm a goddamn human, not a commodity. And I don't wanna be a background actor for your party. And I don't wanna be a background actor for your party. Oh well, oh no, dude, Leonardo DiCaprio ain't coming up to sweep you off your feet, baby. Johnny Depp, though, no one's out here shooting. And I don't wanna be a background actor for your party. And I don't wanna be a background actor for your party. No, 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 no.
What's going on, guys? This is Josh here, also known as J La Soul. I am the host and creator of the Soul Sessions that are here at Funkadelic Studios every last Friday of the month. Alright, so please come out. And the Soul Sessions are exactly open micers. Anyone can sign up for that. So it's a show early, and we have 3 amazing features for you guys every time to just blow your mind. So definitely come out every last Friday, and we hope to see you guys.
Okay, so that was Background Actor from the new album Perennial Millennial. So
Yes.
you have a fundraiser for that, right?
Yes,
Online.
I have a fundraiser. It's up on Indiegogo.com. You can go to my Facebook, my Instagram, and find it there. And yeah, we're trying to. I don't know why I'm saying we. Trying to raise $3,000 for recording as well as advertising and music video if there is extra for that. So
Nice.
we're about 2 weeks in. We got about 2.5 weeks left on it. So crossing my fingers and hope I can make an album.
The Perennial Millennial, Evan
Yeah.
Alexander Moore. Donate to his campaign. Donate.
Donate.
You'll be very happy with the results.
Yeah, you can get, if you donate, you can not only get a copy of the album, but you can also get vinyl, you can get personalized poetry, birthday songs, a demos album for said album, and then one of my favorites, I hope people utilize it, is you can dare me to do things. So you can dare me to drink hot sauce or to whatever you want, whatever people want me to do, as long as it doesn't threaten my life or anything.
Yeah, so all you sociopaths, you can't join in the fun.
Yeah.
But only nice people can donate to the campaign and ask for stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, only nice people. But that's fine. 96% of the population is nice people. Only 4% is sociopaths, right? You would know. You're a psychologist.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Oh my
Or
God.
maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, there are different theories. But anyway, so yeah, I love that song. I feel like I don't know any other songs about background actors, but I think it's it's a really cool song. I like it a lot. I like what you did with your voice at the end.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about how you first got into music. Do you have any formal training? Because I know you have a really great instrument. You sort of remind me of Johnny Cash when you use your lower register, and you sort of you sound like you could sing any type of music.
Well, no, I do not have any classical training. I started singing because my high school was doing Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh my God!
And my little sister, who was huge theater buff, was
I know
like,
her.
Evan, you need to be a part of this. You need to do it. And I was like,
God.
whatever.
Yeah.
Musicals are dumb. Not about it.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then, but she eventually got me to do it, and she pushed me and helped me to audition. And then I got the role of the plant.
Oh my God! I forgot. You told me this.
Yeah. And so
Oh
I
my
had
God.
and
It's a
so
deep voice. Yeah.
I did pretty well, and then for it I went to a vocal teacher to kind of hone it and hone that kind of lower register for the role. And then ever since then I've been sort of into singing, but I was more interested in the acting side of it as far as musical theater goes.
Right.
But that was my first kind of foray into that. And I actually had a garage band in high school called we were called the Marching Gnomes, and I played the drums. And for that I really just knew all about rhythm, but I didn't really know how to write any songs. But that was kind of part of the foray into writing, was I would try to write songs and be kind of like a Ringo or something.
Oh wow!
And, so I never got to have a song with the band because I was not a good writer. But that was still probably the first foray into music and making music for me, was being
in high school,
the drummer for that band.
That's cool.
College rolls around. My sister has a Fender guitar that she never uses, and so I kind of barter with her and am able to take the guitar up to college just to mess around and just have something
Oh, nice.
to kind of put creative energy into. And it wasn't until I had graduated college that a friend of mine told me to listen to Bob Dylan. And
Oh, wow.
very specifically, like, and I knew of Bob Dylan. I heard all the famous songs, and you know, listen to like Highway 61. I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty good. And then she was like, no, you need to like listen. And so I was like, okay, whatever. And I like put it on. I think I was listening to Freewheelin' Bob Dylan, and it just clicked. There was just some mechanism in my brain that just went, burp, and then
Nice.
all of a sudden I was like, oh my god, I get it. And then from there, that was the beginning. I was like, okay, now I need to write. And so I just wrote, and it was all awful until I got to one song, which is on my EP called When Home Isn't Home. It was the first song I wrote where I was like, oh wait, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing I'm gonna do.
Oh my god.
And so from there, it's just been, you know, it's just been uphill, and just kind of like working through, you know, writer's blocks and finding amazing songs and then finding great lyrics, and then just kind of, you know,
Yeah.
that was the start of the journey.
Wow, that's a great story, because I feel like I knew a few of those things, but I never knew like the entire story. And I always find it interesting when people come to singing and songwriting, performing as adults for the first time, and I was kind of like that too. Like I didn't start writing songs until I was 21, and I didn't really write any. I wrote some awful stuff when I was a teenager, and then I threw it away. Like I had all these unfinished lyrics, and then like one day I was just really angry, and I wrote this really angry song. It's called "I Want to Shake Her Hand," and like when I was 21, I was like, okay, it came out. You know, because sometimes it happens that way. Sometimes you need to reach like adult maturity before you you get into stuff. You don't always have to be like 7 years old playing the violin or whatever. And I feel like people need to know that you can find music in any sort of way and at any age. Yeah. You don't have to be like 2 years old and at the classical piano. But it's great. It's great if you are. Like either way, it's fine. And it's sort of that's so interesting. And I think you have so much talent too, because you sound like you could sing any genre, but you don't have that much formal training. And I think people need to also know you don't necessarily have to have formal training to sound good. Sometimes you can teach yourself. I mean, formal training is nice, and like they can help you get a head start. But like if you have the instinct for it, like you can do it, you know, either way. Yeah, as long as you're, you know, putting yourself out there and you're being true to yourself, you're a step ahead of any classically trained musician and who may have just no idea how to write a good song or write a touching lyric, but you have someone who like doesn't know how to sing, doesn't know how to write songs. One of my favorite artists is Daniel Johnston. He has the voice of a dying cat, and he plays guitar like this. Oh my god. With his thumb, and it's real. Thumb. Oh my god. But he lives in Austin, and he's a legend around there. Wow. Because he would just like write and just perform on the spot into little tapes, and then he would just kind of like go around Austin handing them out. Oh my god. And this was in the 80s, and he finally like got to prominence in the 90s because everyone started like, yo, this guy's an amazing songwriter. Wow. And they have his really famous "Hi, how are you" mural up in Austin. Like everyone goes and takes pictures there. Oh my god! But yeah, so he had no training at all. He did not have the best voice, both tonally and even pitch wise. Not the best guitarist. But if you listen to some of his songs and you listen to some of his lyrics, you cannot deny that he was not at least, you know, some semblance of an amazing writer. That's really cool. I think like that's the thing about art and about the performing arts in particular. I think especially about singing, being a singer-songwriter, it's like there's a certain point where somebody breaks all the rules, and it's still great. Like, and I think that's what we need to like remember, because it's hard. There's a lot of tension, I feel like, in the artistic world about that, because I have a classical background, and like I love classical music, but some of the people in that world were like super strict, and it's like you have to learn this, you have to know how to do counterpoint, which nobody even uses anymore, literally. Like nobody writes with counterpoint. so it's kind of like you have to study it and then like never apply it.
Yeah,
but I think
exactly.
like in terms of music, in terms of being a singer-songwriter, I feel like individuality is one of the most important things, that you have your own staple on things, and that sort of sometimes that can like just take what people think are the rules of success and just like throw it out and create a whole new thing that's unprecedented, which I think is why I became a singer-songwriter, and probably like one of the reasons that it appeals to you as well. So what else? Oh, and I need to ask you about your Texan heritage, because I always love to ask people how they're from, but where they're from and how that influences their songwriting skills.
Texas heritage. Well, I mean, so many amazing musicians from across the genre spectrum are from there.
Yeah.
George Strait, Lyle Lovett. I don't think Johnny Cash wasn't from Texas, but he definitely wrote a couple songs about Texas, if I remember correctly. St. Vincent is from there. Erykah Badu, Beyonce, obviously, Travis Scott, DJ Screw, UGK, rest in peace, Pimp C, and yeah, there are just so many amazing artists from the state of Texas, and it's so varied. Because like I said, you have amazing like R&B stars like Erykah Badu and like all R&B. Then you have pop with Beyonce, and then you have hip hop with Travis Scott and UGK and Ghetto Boys, and then all the way over in the country scene you got Lyle Lovett and you got George Strait, and then even over in the alt rock and the indie rock scene you have St. Vincent, who is practically like a guitar legend, and she's amazing. So I think that was the influence of Texas, is just bringing in all these different things and trying to like incorporate it and make it my own somehow. Plus just the flat, just long-reaching lands, Whataburger, Tex-Mex. That's kind of the influence there.
Interesting.
That doesn't show up in the music, but
it's still in there in your subconscious mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, how did you decide to come to New York? Like, what's the relation? How's that been for you? Like being a Texan and then going to New York. Was it a culture shock, or was it like fun and was it nice and blah?
Well, I'm from Houston. Houston's a huge city, although it's huge in kind of like in length and distance.
You have to drive.
New York is very much like probably as big as Houston, but just consolidated onto one, island and 5 boroughs. So there's definitely like culture shock in getting used to stuff. Also, you guys don't have Whataburger or good Tex-Mex, so yeah, exactly. But you guys have the pizza. You guys got the pizza, the Italian, the bagels.
The bagels, yeah,
Bagels are
the Polish
amazing.
and Jewish bakeries.
Yeah, and delis. Oh my God, that was such a saving grace
Oh my God.
in my life, was delis and figuring out that I could get a meal for $6. I was like, how am I gonna make it? And then I walk in the deli and it's like, oh, $6 for this amazing sandwich.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, New York can be expensive, but there are these hidden gems of food that you need to find, and then sometimes they will be in delis. Like you can get a really good deal. There's one in my neighborhood, Washington Heights. Yeah, that's so cool. So you sort of, I feel like you fit in here pretty well, because I feel like it's the Houston and the
Houston's
zeitgeist
like
is similar.
about to be coming up on being the 3rd biggest city. I think it's about to overtake Chicago.
Are you
I
serious?
think so. Yeah.
Wow. And the weather's
Houston right
lovely.
now is already like the fourth largest city. Yeah, and the weather in Houston is amazing when it's not summer. But
right now it's like 65 degrees or something, or like 70,
yeah,
75 degrees there.
It's easy pickings for New Yorkers.
I can't imagine.
You guys will definitely struggle in
learning how to drive.
If you're a New Yorker and you live in Houston, you're gonna struggle in the summer. Oh, you are gonna hate it. People could fry eggs on the ground.
That's interesting. I sort of, in New York.
Not really, but you could.
In New York, we have freezing and boiling. We have two extremes. We don't really get. So I feel like I prefer boiling and moderate to boiling and freezing if I were to move there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I'd also have to learn how to drive. New Yorkers, some of us reach adulthood without ever learning how to drive.
That was a weird thing for me coming
really
here. I was like, oh yeah, I know how to drive, and then
we're like, you're in COD. Could you be our new prince?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
As far as getting to New York, that was really all Bob Dylan's doing.
Aww.
That was all Bob Dylan's doing. Plus, there were kind of like some extra factors in there. Like I knew I wanted to go to grad school, and I knew I wanted to get out of Texas.
Right, yeah.
And experience a different city, a different life, and so those two mixed in with me discovering Bob Dylan and me having this like musical reawakening made me go, let's follow in the footsteps of my icon in life, and let's pack it up and go to New York and see what happens.
That's so inspiring.
Now I'm here following that dream.
So do you want to do? What's your next song that we're gonna do?
My next song is "Backbone of America," and I would like you to sing backup on it.
And can you tell us what the song's about? You give an intro.
The Backbone of America. It is about the things about America that have been ingrained with us for history. The backbone where everything kind of starts, the DNA of America. And it's kind of about that. It goes through 5 different verses that kind of analyze what the backbone of America is. And so, yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, I'll ask you more about it later. Let's do the song.
Down the maternity ward, where newborn babies are passing notes, discussing the next world war. Your sergeant came by, your sons died in Iraq. Now I know what they were talking about. Now they were talking about the backbone of America. Out by the river in Mississippi, goddamn, I hear murmurs down the trail. Friends of mine going deaf or blind, slurs hurled their way. Yeah, he was walking with melanin and shot him in the back. Now I know what they were talking about. Now they were talking about the backbone of America. Whispers over the dinner table, parents talking working class walls, all the crippled bulls of economies. Yeah, the bankers never saw jailbirds, no. Now I'm waist deep in the Hudson, scrounging around. Now I know what my parents were talking about. They were talking about the backbone of America. And I found strife and amphetamines. I found amphetamine in a Texas dive bar. But the land of the free, she was a calling me, asking for a better way. Out on the highway, I saw the sunrise. I asked a vagabond if I could be reborn. See, they issued a draft and they raised my taxes, asking for all I had and more. The trip kept going, but I didn't give up hope. I had found what I was looking for. All thanks to the backbone of America. Well, for every painful knock in my back, there's another that's gonna push us forward. For every bone that takes away the ones that we love, there's another that's gonna give us hope. Yeah, I hear it in every friend, every philosophy, every singer that's ever inspired me. They were singing about the backbone up. Put your middle finger
If you are a musician in NYC and you haven't visited Funkadelic Studios yet, what are you waiting for? We've been around for about a quarter of a century, offering services to musicians of all skill levels. Some of the services we offer are rental, repair, recording studio, rehearsal space, rock and roll club, and of course, retail. That's right, we can sell you equipment. And you can even do your events here. We have a beautiful, spacious room right back there. It's called Room 1, and we have lots of other rooms where you can do lots of other things. So come on down. That was Backbone of America. Yeah, I love singing on that. We do the instrumentation on the album is really cool. There's a banjo on it.
There's a banjo. We have a saw, and then like piano, bass, electric guitar, and then her amazing vocals are also on that track.
It's super fun to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we should wrap things up because it's a very long episode. But it's like, I love that song because I feel like it shows the dark side of America too. Like it shows the balance of like good and bad and how we associate these things with traditional American values. But they're actually like kind of nasty, some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're nasty, but I tried with the song to be also, fair and capture what I think, the founders of America were trying to get to, which was, highlight that people are also amazing and they can cry for each other and they can keep moving forward despite indifference and differences. And,
Cool. All right. Well, this has been great having you, Evan Alexander Moore, the perennial millennial.
Yes.
And so just follow him on Facebook. So do you go by Alexander Moore most of the time, or
I go by my full
Evan
Alexander Moore.
Evan Alexander Moore. So just find him on all the media, Facebook, website, and donate to that campaign so you can see,
donate to the
so you can hear the wonderful music.
So you guys can hear not only that song, but also background actors, which I played today, and then all the other songs I've got cooking up here in a full length album thing. So
Cool. All right. Funk Family Showcase. Evan Alexander Moore, perennial millennial, Samantha Echo, and Jade and Troy are helping out with the camera work and the social media. Yay!
Shout out to them. Shout out to them,
Jade and Troy. All right. Bye, everyone.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Troy Wicks Music, and you're now tuning into Funk Family Showcase here each and every Friday, live in Funkadelic Studios in the heart of New York City. Each and every week, we have a new artist that we're showcasing, giving you a little bit of talent with a little bit of an interview. So, kicking off today's episode, we have with us today Super King. What's up, brother?
I'm chilling, man. I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. I heard some great things about you.
Oh, yeah?
I saw your sound check, so I'm excited. But we're going to talk about the great things in the end.
All right.
We repping Queens, Jamaica, Queens.
That's what it is.
Shout out to Jamaica. We always got to give a shout out from where we're from and represent and keep it real. That's how my grandmother taught me, so that's what we do. So he's going to be hitting us with 2 tracks today. You can actually get those tracks right now on his Bandcamp. They're now available, so you can check it out there. First song is going to be, tell me what it is. I know the album.
Nights in Shining Darkness.
Nights in Shining Darkness off his album, Gone is the Illusion. Ladies and gentlemen, first song, Super King. Let's get it.
Yeah. Super King Armor, Funkadelic Studios. Nights in Shining Darkness. Here we go. Yeah. My nights in shining darkness. We dwell again. Set my nights in shining darkness. We dwell again. My nights in shining darkness. We dwell again. It may sound strange and ambiguous to some, but I can feel the emotions of other humans. A deep empathy from the time I was young. For example, I'd have a great day and good fun. Then someone high strung, clearly so glum. Under their thumb, I am pressed and so done. A shadow inhaled and then passed through the lungs. That's where a night in shining darkness comes from. A man at his post, haunted by ghosts. As long as his energy always stays close. I'm bound to the pain, wrapped around my throat. The night in shining darkness, no chainmail for coat. So overwhelming, I keep to myself. Sensory overload, circuits would melt. Hours of
What's up, y'all? Listen, man, Fuge, and I'm here at Funkadelic Studios. We do a show here every second Saturday. It's called Level Up Showcase, and it features youth performers and veteran artists, some of the best in the city and out of the city. So do you want to perform? Do you want to level up? Hit us up on Instagram or Twitter at Level Up Showcase. Every second Saturday. I'll see y'all here.
All right, guys. And that was Nights in Shining Darkness off his album Gone is the Illusion, available now on Bandcamp. Super K.
Yes, it is.
Yes, give us a little background of that song.
Oh man, so it's like the meaning of that is like, well, I have a high level of empathy, so I feel people's emotions all the time, and there was years I didn't understand that. I thought I was always like depressed and there was something wrong with me, and then I matured and grew into it and started to realize the separation between how I actually feel and then how I feel when I'm around certain groups of people.
Interesting.
And that started to like really change my perspective on who I was, like my identity and everything. Because I'm like, yo, I'm not really bugging out. Like, there's other people around me that are going through some real shit.
Right, and you're like a receptor, you can feel that.
Absolutely.
And around what age was that when you realized like the separation of, hey, it's not me, I'm not going through this, I don't feel this way, it's actually a gift that I have.
Yeah, dude, it's later, man. It was like, I would say like 30s, I'm in my early 30s, I started realizing that, and I was just like, yo, this is bananas. I didn't even know this was going on. Like, I used to be laying in my room, like, freaking out, like, sweating and just, like, being very uncomfortable around people and stuff like that, not realizing, like, this is other people's stuff. And now it's like I can really tell the difference because I'll be around somebody who's having, like, a really bad day. They'll, like, touch me, and then all of a sudden my entire day is like screwed up. Like I'm depressed and everything.
It's that deep.
It's that deep. But the good thing about it is that I can recognize it now. Like, this is not my stuff I'm dealing with. They've just passed on their heebie-jeebies to me, you know what I mean? And so I'm just, working through it now. And so the Nights part is like, it's that maturity of like, okay, now I know how to protect myself from this. So, I'm safeguarded from all those other emotions and stuff like that.
Got it. Nice and shining dark. Got it.
Yeah.
So from all that darkness, you now
get these
gotcha.
nights. Yeah.
Makes sense. I like to ask questions. I like to know because words are power, and I feel like other people need to breaking down the meaning so people can understand it. Pretty helps people understand it more, so that you can really get more in depth, in tune with what your music is doing. So
absolutely.
All right. And the next song is called The Return. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, cool. And it's a single that you have available now on Bandcamp as well.
Yeah,
there's a story behind that.
Yeah, there's a story behind that. You can only download it. You can't buy that one.
Okay.
But people request me to do this song all the time at my shows.
Okay.
So it's like I make sure if I go someplace,
check it out. You download it. Got it.
Yeah.
So he brought it here, and this is definitely a showcase about you. So I'm so glad you decided to bring it.
Absolutely.
So The Return. Check him out right now, Super King.
Let's do it.
Queens, New York City, stand up. Wake up. One man shouldn't have all that power. It's a phrase reserved for those who didn't work the long hours. When I return and see the face of these cowards, don't switch teams because you lost face and got devoured. Because I return like a hurricane, I will overcome all my inner pain. I won't be faced by all the dirt they flung. I say that I'm simply teasing to be that way. Because I return like a hurricane, I will overcome all my inner pain. I won't be faced by all the dirt they flung. I say that I'm simply teasing to be that way. You say he dropped the jewel before the first breath because you dealing with a smooth head, yet no hubris or a huge head for swole neck. Complex, no ego check. Silent assassin with the wardrobe as a strong chest. Set down the play chest, already got checks. 8th rank journal, warlord of the upset. Blackouts like commands on the black silk dress. Still water with the deepness. Runners exit, you rushed in when you didn't even learn the rules yet. Thought you were playing grabs, runners rush your roulette. No boxing couldn't to accompany my tool set. No revenge in my plans, homie, don't be foolish. No, you because you dealing with a smooth head, yet no hubris or a huge head for swole neck. Complex, no people check. Silent assassin with the vulture as a strong chest. Sat down to play chess and already got checked. Eighth ranger, the warlord of the upset. Black house like chameleons on a black silk dress. Still water with the deepness. Run as exec, you rushed in when you didn't even know the rules yet. Thought you were playing craps when it's Russian roulette. No boxing couldn't to accompany my tool set. No orange in my plans, homie, don't be foolish. No, you must be cool to see the ball here with the smoothness. But homie, I've been through it thick and thin. Not a spectator, participator, so made risk taker. If you're not with me now, then don't be with me later. Because I return like a hurricane. I will overcome all the inner pain. I won't be faced with all the dirt they bring. I say that I'm secret easy to beat them that way. Because I return like a hurricane. I will overcome all my inner pain. I won't be faced with all the dirt they bring. I say that I'm secret easy to beat them that way. Return like Malcolm X from his pilgrimage to Mecca. A changed man and letting us all stronger and better. Leaving the old order, refusing to follow man-made leaders. On my own record label, and now welcome is precious. And lies in God's hands, no one can treat me better. I return like Jesus after 3 days of being dead. Knowing those that were true to me by my side when I bled. With that said, me and my mom's relationship rocky as hell. But no, I saved all your letters and her personal voicemails. And I use what you went through and go through as my avenue to do what you didn't do. And trust what I glean from you is this attitude to take and that way for it to be given to you. Because this game will work you to death for nothing in return. As more ends of the candles to burn, making it harder to earn. As the clock hands of destiny turns, fire will burn. Renegades must stay paid upon my return. Because I return like a hurricane. I will overcome all my inner pain. I won't be faced with all the dirt they bring. I say that I'm simply teasing to beat them that way. Because I return like a hurricane. I won't all my inner pain. I won't be faced with all the dirt they bring. I say that I'm simply teasing to beat them that way. Like a hurricane. Yeah, yeah. All my inner pain. All the dirt they bring. I say that I'm simply teasing to beat them that way. Yeah. Like a hurricane. Yeah, yeah. All my inner pain. All the dirt they bring. I say that I'm simply teasing to beat them that way now. On top of my head, it's sort of like a brain diver going on top of his head. No, I bring the words back so you know that the legs move just as fast as like a track running ledge. Like my name is Jackie joining cursor, somebody better. Super King Armor followed run to the final letter. That's a A to Z or hotter than AZ, or it's Nas and AZ. That's just nasty as me, but there is no other. There is my competition, cause my own man look in the mirror, that is my position. Cause I look better the more that I shine. No, I look better the more that I grind. Cause there's nothing more than mountains that I'm always gonna climb. I see the sun at the peak and yeah, I'm gonna shine. Yeah, I'm always out for mines and I'm gonna be taking mines. It's like dropping a dime, but I'm not dropping any dimes, but more like I be dropping them dimes because I leave you rich in jewels when you see mines. It's like all the time that I know I'm on mines. It's like I take up my grind and I'm always gonna climb now. I return like a hurricane on the harbor. No, it's the man, it's the Super King Armor. I take off my armor so you can feel my heart. It's like an open heart surgery. You can tear me apart, but you pick me apart or begin to dissect. All you know is that the man was around with intellect or something that's true. Even though I'm in debt, I still raise the money in my style cause I always collect like,
Yeah.
Word.
What's going on, guys? This is Josh here, also known as J La Soul. I am the host and the creator of the Soul Sessions that are here at Funkadelic Studios every last Friday of the month. Alright, so please come out. And the Soul Sessions are exactly that. They are a session for everyone's souls. You know, like life is crazy, everyone has their challenges and their tribulations. The Soul Sessions is a place you can come, just get that healing from music and just the vibes that are around in the area. And from all the different kinds of artists. So please come out. We have 10 open micers. Anyone can sign up for that. So it's the show early. And we have 3 amazing features for you guys every time to just blow your mind. So definitely come out every last Friday, and we hope to see you guys.
If you are a musician in NYC and you haven't visited Funkadelic Studios yet, what are you waiting for? We've been around for about a quarter of a century, offering services to musicians of all skill levels. Some of the services we offer are rental, repair, recording studio, rehearsal space, rock and roll club, and of course, retail. That's right, we can sell you equipment. And you can even do your events here. We have a beautiful, spacious room right back there. It's called Room 1, and we have lots of other rooms where you can do lots of other things. So come on down.
All right, guys, that was Super King, and that was The Return.
The Return.
The most requested all the time, as we see. The
Yeah.
Return. I've definitely heard it before now that I heard you play it.
Word.
So yeah, shout out to you on that. Just being an artist and being real and doing you. You can buy that right now on this Bandcamp. You can download that one.
Yeah,
You gotta
download that
buy.
one. Yeah.
So yeah, listen and pay attention. The good thing I wanted to say for later is I recently heard that you have you won a competition or performance called Supreme Bars. Can you tell us a little bit about this and tell us what it's all about and why it's so important? Because you did your thing. I heard it in the street. I heard it in the street.
Word in the street is
Right.
I was getting busy, man. It's a competition where like all of the MCs that are currently in the scene doing their thing in New York City go to, and also beat makers go to, and it's run by the good homie Analogy, aka Roberto De Jesus, good brother there. He organized, put that whole thing together, and it's like a who's who comes out there, for the most part of of every generation I've known since far in New York City.
Oh, wow.
Come out there. And it's not like a battle rap competition where you go head to head with somebody.
Okay.
You gotta utilize topics, and most of the stuff you have to refer to is video footage. So you have to be able to freestyle about what you see and put it into your own kind of words and stuff like that.
So they show a video.
Show a
and
video.
each person has to freestyle based on that topic of the video by themselves.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And talk about that
No doubt.
topic.
In that moment right there. It's not something you wrote at home and came up with in the photo right
there's
now.
no way you could do it because it's
Oh, wow.
it's like you have to pay attention to what's on the
I'm
on
telling
the
you, I gotta
screen.
come check this out.
Yeah, man. Every second Tuesday of the month now, I believe, at Pianos. But if you Google Supreme Bars, you'll be able to find it.
Second Tuesday. So I'm definitely check that out. Congratulations to you on that win. And
Yeah, man, that was pretty interesting because he has a topic for every single show, and this topic was comic books and Stan Lee because Stan Lee just passed away.
Yeah.
And so
Shout out to Stan Lee, bro.
Yeah, for real. And so it was everything revolving around the kind of stuff that he's done. And I'm recently about to publish my first illustration book because I'm also an artist. So I draw.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was like a perfect segue in.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you had to know about comic books sort of to really be able to put your mind into that. Because me thinking, I'm like, I would be freaking out. Like, I don't know. I've seen a couple movies, but I don't know comic books. Like, if I had to come against somebody who had some comic book knowledge, I would be like, tonight's not my night.
Yeah.
So that's dope. And the fact that you're an illustrator and you produce your own material, like, that's something you can even pull from. But like, hey, look.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
For real.
so-
And it's based off of my album, Gone is the Illusion. So every song is an illustration in the book. And
So you're doing, like, I know Beyonce do video illustrations for her album. So you're taking yours from a video to an illustration book, like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Wow, pretty dope. Might change the game up, huh?
Yeah, I'm 2 weeks away from receiving it, man.
2 weeks.
2 weeks away. As of today, 2 weeks left.
Oh wow,
It's
so
been
I
a
know you're
journey,
on fire.
man. It's been a journey, bro. 5 years, man.
5 years.
Yeah, because I've never published a book before in my life, so there was the whole journey of having to actually learn how to do that.
That's true.
And that was like a lot. And so I put myself under a lot of pressure, but I came through in the end, man. So
You got 2 weeks in the products here. You definitely put your time in, and that goes to show you that you have patience and you really enjoy. First of all, having patience because it's not easy when you're trying to be a boss and do what you do, and then actually applying yourself. Boom, 5 years. So that's just a story within itself. So congratulations to you on that. I'm sure we can't wait to see it. I'm excited now.
Tears are going to be coming out my face once the books is on. I'm like every time I think about it, it's like, son, it's not going to be a good
It's
look.
like a stock bringing a baby, jump the baby out at the front door. Oh, it's going down. I get it. I totally understand.
Yeah.
We're artists and we're sensitive about our shit, so I totally understand. So before we head out, tell them where they can find you first and foremost. On Instagram, I know for sure.
On Instagram, you have Scarman Lives. That's SKARMANLIVES. You could always reach me anywhere else on social media as Super King Armor. And I also run a blog. I haven't been updating it frequently as much, but it's 8thRankRecords.blogspot, so you can reach me there. See all the things I got coming up. I have a show on December 21st at the Delancey. So I'll be there with one of the homies from here, Magnet Hands.
Okay.
He works with me. He's doing Deshae Clark. He does live beat making. So I got the stems to my joints, and he rocks
So
out
it's
with me.
about to go down.
It's about to go down. We tore it down the last time we was at the Delancey, so I got to step it up a notch this time.
Listen, he said, y'all, if y'all saw it last time, y'all be ready for this time. It's
Yeah.
about to go down.
For real.
That's what's up. So
real.
before we leave, I also like you to leave something with the audience. It could be empowering, motivated. It could be just whatever you feel in your heart. Just leave them with something from Super King.
Be uncomfortable. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's key. That's everything I've ever done, everything I've ever succeeded at, it's always boiled down to that. Trying something new, you got to be uncomfortable, to grow. So I can talk from experience, from my book, from my album, to shows, to battles, you name it. I was always like nervous, or it's like first time, and then you go through it, and then you get bigger and stronger, and then here we are. So that I think is the most important thing, at least to me.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable. I'm listening. Wow, that was really good. So thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I have nothing else to say to that. That felt good.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it with that. So you get this was Troy Weeks Music with Funk Family Showcase each and every Friday here at Funkadelic Studios live right here in the studio. You know how we do. So until next week, until next time. Keep it funky, y'all. We'll see you next week.
Keep it funky.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Troy Weeks Music, and it's Friday, so you know what that means. It's time for Funk Family Showcase, live here in the studio, right in the heart of New York, Funkadelic Studios. And I got with me a very special treat for you guys today. We're going to take my girl Jade from the back of the camera to the front of the camera with all that talent to show you guys what it is for our very special Veterans Edition today. First and foremost, shout out to you, Jade. Thank you for, taking it from there to here and really showing people what you do on a very special day. So thank you for making that happen.
Thank you. Air Force.
Air Force. Go Air Force, first of all. We have a very special treat for you today. Later on in her ending song, she has a duet with someone else that's going to come out and share in this very special moment with us. But before we get there, Miss Lady's representing H-Town out of Texas, am I right?
Yeah.
Woo woo! Shout out to H-Town. I'm just saying, I ain't from there, but I love to give love what love needs to be given. I'm from Harlem. That's this H-Town. I'm just saying. But anyway, you came to New York after being in the Air Force, obviously. We can see your name back here behind us. Being in the Air Force and doing music while you were in the Air Force, correct?
Part of my time. Yeah, I was in for 5 years. I got to get all the way up to Staff Sergeant, and then I got out. But while I was in one of the years, I did spend on a tour, and we toured like everywhere, all over the world, entertaining troops. It was like a pop band, so we played like top 40 from like the 50s to today. And it was really fun. And then I came off that tour, went back to my regular duty job, finished my time, and then I came to New York to pursue music on my own.
Listen, she toured the world and did what she had to do with that uniform on. When time was up, because she did what she had to do, she really came to New York to follow her dreams and do what it is she really loves to do. So she here, y'all, and this is one of the reasons how I met her. This is one of the reasons how we're doing this show. And without further ado, I'm going to stop talking, get out the way, so we can get right into Lifetime. She's going to be doing all original music today. All her songs are available now on iTunes, Apple Music, and all those digital media outlets out there that produce music. So check it out. And I'm going to move out the way. Jade Zabrick, first song is Lifetime. Check it out.
Yeah.
As of yet, I'm still not
What's up, y'all? It's your man Fuge, and I'm here at Funkadelic Studios. We do a show here every second Saturday. It's called Level Up Showcase, and it features youth performers and veteran artists, some of the best in the city and out of the city. So do you want to perform? Do you want to level up? Hit us up on Instagram or Twitter at Level Up Showcase. Every second Saturday. I'll see y'all here.
All right, guys, that was Lifetime, which I told you is now available, which has been available now on all digital media platforms where you can buy some music. So check her out. And now we're getting ready to get into our second song, which is Where Have You Been For All My Life?
Yeah.
Booyah! I did it, guys. So this is very important because I was in this video along with Sam. Whoop, whoop, she's in the back. I was in this video. So tell them a little bit, give them a little background about this song.
Yeah, so the song is basically like a love song to someone, like, where have you been for all my life? Like, looking for them, you've been searching for them the whole time, and then, you know, when you found them, this is what you say. And I had an idea for the video, but I wasn't sure, like, who was going to be to, and then I thought about it, and I thought maybe I could be the one that I was singing to. So that's, like, the point of the video, is I'm meeting a whole bunch of other people. They are trying to busk with me, play music together with me, and basically none of it works out for either they don't want to or I don't want to, just different reasons. And then comes to find out at the end I found myself, and then I'm right here.
Ta-da! She's right here. So yes, this is what I wanted to get to. So yeah, the video, the concept was pretty dope. That's a powerful message. You gotta find yourself, and all that you do, you gotta know yourself first. So where have you been for all my life? Let's get it, JJ.
Cool.
Once or twice before.
sessions that are here at Funkadelic Studios every last Friday of the month. All right, so please come out. And the soul sessions are exactly that. They are a session for everyone's souls. You know, like life is crazy. Everyone has their challenges and their tribulations. The soul sessions is a place where you come, just get that healing from music and just the vibes that are around in the area, and from all the different kinds of artists. Please come out. We have 10 open micers. Anyone can sign up for that. So it's show early, and we have 3 amazing features for you guys every time to just blow your mind. So definitely come out every last Friday, and we hope to see you guys.
All right, guys. That was Where Have You Been in My Life again. That was Jade Zabrick. That was the second song we had on set for her today. And again, I was in that video, and so was Sammy. And that was really, you know, again, like we said before, know yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Know yourself first and know what you want to do in life, because it all starts with you. We're going to get into our third and final song, which is War for Sale. This song has some history and some things behind it that we're going to talk about afterwards. So you guys are in for a treat. So you guys, I'm going to move out the way. Let's just do this. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Jade Zabrick, War for Sale. Stay tuned.
Cool, cool.
And I wonder who will prevail. Cause up in my hood we throw our hands in the air, but no one cares. And even with my fellow residents combined, we ain't got enough dead presidents to represent. So let all of my people be heard. I bet with thousands of troops I guarantee will be heard. It's so absurd that some of my fellow vets are phoneless. What's even more disturbing is that some of them are homeless. And I'm just a kid from the ghetto trying to do something new. Not be in a body bag and seen up on the news. What good of views and ratings if it keeps on I'm degrading. I ain't hating, I'm just saying that it ain't always raining. And the rich are getting richer while the poor are getting poorer. Everybody wants to for the new world order through disorder, slaughter, and war for sale. Yet despite these dark times, I'm here to say will prevail. I got
10,000 truths, we ain't got nothing to do. Let's crash the ride with some damn material. Get on good news, boy, for sale. Who's gonna buy us now? Who's gonna sell us out? Whoa, for sale.
If you are a musician in NYC and you haven't visited Funkadelic Studios yet, what are you waiting for? We've been around for about a quarter of a century, offering services to musicians of all skill levels. Some of the services we offer are rental, repair, recording studio, rehearsal space, rock and roll club, and of course, retail. That's right, we can sell you equipment. And you can even do your events here. We have a beautiful, spacious room right back there. It's called Room 1, and we have lots of other rooms where you can do lots of other things. So come on down.
All right, guys. Again, that was Worth for Sale, and I told you were in for a treat. We have with us right here on rap, holding it down, AD from the BX.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Listen, you see this behind me. We got Jade and we got AD. This is a very special edition. So you guys, Worth for Sale, can you guys just give us a little background? I know you had that song out before. So give us a little background on that and how he got involved in it and got this smashed together.
That's cool. We talked about that night. So when I found, he discovered me. He didn't discover me. He found me on like Facebook or something like that,
Yep.
and then went to like a show of mine.
Open mic in
Open mic.
Delancey.
The Delancey, and then was like, "Hi, I'm Adrian. I'm a Navy vet." And I was like, "Oh, this is cool." Like he told me that he looked me up. I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." And then I just reached out to him because I had this song, and it was pretty quick. I think.
Yeah.
I had it like as soon as I met him, like brought him into the studio, and that's the first track off of my album Up to New York that it came out with. It came out pretty well. Good job.
Thank you.
I thought it was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I'm sure everybody else thought it was pretty good. I like that spin, how you did that. You know, I like spins and things. That's how
All
I
the
get down.
references.
Yes. So, before we head out, can we give a little insight to the other veterans out there who are looking to do music and maybe ways of outlets to do what they need to do? So give them some sort of, I like to just, before we leave, just go around and say something, leave people with something or whatever, something to be, every artist is different, everyone's different, but whatever it may be for you, and I just say emphasize it in regards to veterans so that we can, just draw into what we've already been a part of.
Yeah.
This moment.
I mean, as you can see, we have two very different styles. We're doing similar career fields, just in our own unique way. So to my fellow brothers and sisters that serve, man, you don't have to be in the creative industry. You don't have to be an artist, but just find whatever's therapeutic for you. Whether it's video games, hey, you can get paid off YouTube for that, man. So just do positive, and the good things will come naturally. So yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is again AD. Can you tell them where to find you so that someone reach out to you like you reached out to Jay, maybe someone.
Sure.
Someone's
You guys can Google my government name. Excuse me.
Gotcha. No worries.
It's also my IG handle. It's at Adrian_R_Elias. That's ADRIAN_R_ELIAS.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Elias. Awesome, cool. And you, Jay, what are you gonna leave us with today?
With them, I want a message about I want to give a message to the young people in the country and how divided the country is about. The thing with the military is it's pretty Republican right now, and I feel like the only way to solve that problem is we need some more liberals to be in the military. The military is not for war only. There's a lot of smart people in the military. Nobody has to sign up to kill anybody. We need smart people in the military. So if we had more smarter people behind the guns, we might be making some better decisions with those guns. That's what I gotta say.
Wow, that was definitely powerful. I'm gonna go back to that in 2 seconds, but tell them where to find you, Jay. Thank you so much.
Jade Zabrick, anywhere on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, iTunes. Also on iHeartRadio now with Skies Crescent Radio.
Whoop, whoop.
So,
We're going up the ladder. Skies Crescent Radio, definitely, ladies and gentlemen. Also, that's where you can find Jade. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much again. If you're tuning in and you're listening, whether it's on YouTube or if you're listening to the audio, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember that you can do anything you want to do if you put your mind to it. There's people out here, there's resources out here, and networking is all a part of it. All it takes is, hey, showing up, saying, hey, how you doing? That's literally it. It could be you could be in the bar having a drink, and it could literally be the person standing next to you. It's really that simple and that easy. So this is what we do each and every Friday here in the heart of New York City at Funkadelic Studios, Funk Family Showcase, and we do each and every Friday. We keep it funky, y'all. So we'll see you guys next week.
yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome to Funk Family Showcase, episode, I think it's 15 or 16. You'll see if you subscribe to our YouTube page, Funkadelic Studios, and go to the Funk Family Showcase playlist. So I have a special guest. I'm filling in for Troy Weeks again this week. I'm Samantha Echo, our guest host and one of the curators of this program. And I have as our special guest today, straight out of the Bronx, by way of another state that's nearby, I won't say which, but a Bronx citizen herself who now lives in Nashville. She is a multi-talented, beautiful, stylish, and spiritually gifted musician, performer, businesswoman, Kay Fox.
Hi.
Hi. I love how it's decorated today, don't you?
It's
I feel like
amazing.
it's appropriate for your style and my style.
For sure.
Yeah.
Every day.
I love your haircut, by the way.
Thank you. It's my hair growth.
Oh, okay, cool. It was even shorter. It looks
in
nice.
between, yeah. It was. I have hair back here now.
Oh, yay.
I was bald.
I'm thinking of doing that just because I get tired of my hair
It's
sometimes.
extremely liberating.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And I felt like I had a boyfriend every time I did this
Oh
to
my
the back
God.
of my head. And I was like,
Yeah, that's very convenient. Note to
Self-love.
self. Yeah, it's very important. So you're such a fascinating person, and I admire you so much because you have like this whole. I always admire musicians who do other things too, who are sort of knowledgeable in different areas of life, because I feel like getting life experience in other areas makes you a better performer, it makes you a better artist, musician. So can you tell us a little bit about your background? I know you have a children's book that just came out.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell us about that?
Sure. So Screaming to Be Free is based on one of my songs. It's all about having a dream in your heart and letting nothing stand in your way. And it just went live at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and a digital version on Kindle. And there's also an audiobook on iTunes and Spotify and all that good stuff. But yeah, so that's been kind of the most exciting thing lately. One of the most exciting things, yeah.
Yeah, I love that song. It's so catchy, and I feel like a lot of people can identify with it. So can you tell us a little bit about the content of the book in relation to the song?
Sure. So I actually wrote the song back in 2011. So the song's had a long evolution. I went to Bob Marley's studio and recorded a reggae remix. And on my way back from the airport, I had bought One Love by Bob Marley, which is a children's book based on the song.
Oh, I didn't even know. I should know that, but
Yeah,
yes,
so I bought it for my boyfriend at the time. He had a 5-year-old daughter, and so I bought it for her, and then I came home and ended up storyboarding the entire book in a day. It just like came out, and I was like, oh, okay. So I self-published the first version, and it was a coloring book, so that kids could not only color not only the pictures but also the words. So I was a program director for Boys and Girls Club, so I worked with a lot of special needs kids who needed to be engaged in different ways. So this way they could listen to the song, they can color the pictures, color the words if they're early learners. That helps them to learn how to read as well. So I just realized how affected people were by the song at Boys and Girls Club. Pretty much everywhere I go, if I perform and there's kids around, they would start dancing to it. So it was just one of those things that song has opened so many doors, and it's amazing how after 7 years that song is still opening new doors and creating new chapters in my life. So
I'm not surprised. That's such a beautiful story, and I think like when your work has an effect on children and like the fact that they just start dancing, I think like it's just like it's operating on a really deep level, and it's really working.
Yeah,
So
I mean it was
a
really personal song, and like just kind of to backtrack a little bit, I wrote it in 2011. I was homeless when I wrote the song.
Wow.
So if you listen to the content of the song, it was like my higher self speaking my blessing into my life before I could really see it. You know,
Yeah.
giving myself the vision of what my life could be like before I was actually living it, and giving me some hope to get through that period of time. So
Yeah, I feel like I can identify with that as a songwriter as well. Like, even when people, like, songs have a positive effect on people, I think that there's like a desperate place that they often come from, where it's like there's a need to work through something in a song, and so it comes, like, often, like, great songwriting can come out of like a dark place, and
Yeah.
it has this great effect on people.
yeah, like a resolution to whatever you're going through.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So I feel like I'm gonna ask you. I have so many more questions to ask you. I'm so excited to have you here, and great style as always. I love all the necklaces. I'll ask you about like each and every one of them. But I feel like we should move into our first song.
Yeah, for sure.
And what's the name of this one?
So I'm gonna do Back With You first because it was my firstborn, and I have a lot of ties to the song with Funkadelic and Dawn, and yeah, this was my first baby. So yeah.
Okay, and we have a guest artist today who's going to be part of the song. Jade Zabrick on guitar.
Woo! I'm excited. She was part of the book release party, so
Okay.
that's pretty special too. Yeah, kind of full circle.
And she's also the curator of the show along with me. And
I have friends in high places.
all right.
When I first laid eyes on you, well, I was already through. You had me had a love, there was nothing left for me to do. We talked for a little while, and thinking of you made me smile. I was mesmerized, I fell for your charm and your style. First came love, then came pain, rose with the sun, left with the rain. You got me feeling blue, and break me down and build me up. Drink my heart, fill me back up. I'm back with you. I'm back with you. I'm back with you. And ooh, I'm back with you. You came like a hurricane, and there were times I felt insane, but I would lose my mind and stick around through all the pain. Last time we said we're done, I meant to like every other one, but you got me to stay for a million times. You have won. Break me down and build me up. Drain my heart, fill me back up. I'm back with you. First came love, then came pain. Rose with the sun, left with the rain. You got me feeling blue, 'cause when I met you, I just knew you were bad for me. Like a fool, I'm a forward like a parody. Reenacting like a joke, I just keep coming back. And even though your love chose to get you off the back, and every time that I leave, I swear that it's the end of the problem. Door just pretend, 'cause it's something that you do. You got me feeling blue. Boy, I don't know what to do, 'cause I'm back with you. First came love, then came pain. Rose with the sun, left with the rain. You got me feeling blue, and break me down, build me up. Drink my heart, fill me back up. I'm back with you, and I'm back with you, and I'm back with you. I'm back with you.
What's up, y'all? It's your man Fuge, and I'm here at Funkadelic Studios. We do a show here every second Saturday. It's called Level Up Showcase, and it features youth performers and veteran artists, some of the best in the city and out of the city. So do you want to perform? Do you want to level up? Hit us up on Instagram or Twitter at Level Up Showcase. Every second Saturday. I'll see y'all here.
Wow, that was beautiful. And I've always loved that song. It's like, it just gets stuck in your head and you can dance to it. But I feel like the lyrics are kind of dark, but it works. It works. It's like, it's danceable and it's also emotional and it's also very like moving and easy to identify with. So I feel like those are all really good ingredients to a great song. So can you tell us about the history of that song? You said, is it the first one you ever
recorded?
Yeah.
And yeah, my first original song that I ever recorded in a studio, wrote, we produced it from the ground up.
Wow.
So I was in the studio as the musicians were coming up. They were doing the pentatonic scale in the studio. It was like so much energy in the room. And I have
which school was this at?
So it was actually a studio in Queens that does not exist anymore. It's MBS Studio. And I was going through this as I was writing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I had been dating someone. I was in an abusive relationship, and I was really trying to get out of it. I had moved to New York from Florida, and we were about to get back into it. But I had some space because I was in New York, and I had finally started working on music, which I had not had the opportunity to do before in a real way.
Yeah.
And so this song was like, it was my breakthrough. To stop going back. So I had just kept going back so many times. And, in hindsight, there's so much that's evolved from that relationship, and I'm so thankful for that experience because my perspective shifted so much on that, just kind of letting go of the victim mentality of everything. But for me, it was like, I think of writing that song, and sometimes it felt like a dream. But I look at my writing book, and I'm like, I obviously was there. There's video footage of it. But I don't know if you have this experience writing songs where, literally, it just moves through you.
Yeah.
Right? You're not even really aware of what you're doing. You're just in that moment, and it just comes out because it's got to come out. If a song's got to be out, it will find its way out of you.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what songwriting is about. I feel like you are almost like giving birth to like a brand new being that is going to say something that nobody else has said before. This is the way that only you can say it.
Right, in your own unique voice.
Yeah.
And also the thing about that was the part of you that it feels so personal because it's yours.
Right.
But then once you put it out, it's not yours anymore.
Yeah.
It belongs to everyone. And that was kind of scary for me for a while. I was afraid of letting go of things or afraid of releasing them, and I've just learned the power of just unapologetically just letting stuff go and allowing it to do whatever it needs to do for other people and creating the space for others.
Yeah, I think that's what it's all about. And I feel the same way. I have trouble letting go of a lot of things too. And I felt like every time I finish a song, and when I wrote my first song, and mine was also very cathartic. Like it was also about like a very difficult interpersonal romantic experience.
Yeah.
Like once I put it out there, it's just like I felt healthier and I felt cleansed. And I think I guess the word for it is confessional, and I don't know how I even feel about that word as a songwriter, but like, how do you feel about it? Like, it's sort of, do you identify?
All of my music's autobiographical. It's
like
my visual art. It's like everything that comes out of me is a result of my personal experiences, either whether observed, experienced, or whatever. But it's through my eyes, so it's mine ultimately. And then after that, it's not mine anymore.
Yeah, and I think when people see how genuine that is, they really connect with it. I think everybody feels that it's coming from a real place, and that's one of the reasons that they can relate to their own experience.
Yeah,
that's what I find as well. But you're just like, you're such an interesting person too. Like you have such great style, and you're like a fashionista, right? Do you like, I know, like I think Dawn was telling me, hey Dawn, that like somebody designed clothes specifically for you or something.
Yeah. So my last 2 gowns for the Grammys and performing at the Beta Awards on Bronx Net TV, those were all designed by Gamakache Black. She's based in Queens. Shout out to Margaret. But they're all custom gowns.
Wow.
So last year I was purple for the Grammys. The year before that I was red. And then for the Beta Awards I had a black gown. And so I shall be doing my gown for the Grammys this year again. And yeah, and then I used to work with my stylist Jocelyn, who really helped me find my voice stylistically. To get more comfortable with who I was and who I am, and really empowered me to trust myself. style wise, because I felt like I was kind of trying to fit into something for
Right,
a long time.
yeah.
And it wasn't really me. Like if you watch old music videos and stuff of mine, it's like I've got tight dresses on and stuff like that. And like I'm like, I'd rather wear like anything else. I mean, you know, leggings great, but like I've just gotten so much more comfortable with who I am, and as a result, my style has shifted. And I've always had kind of a unique style. Like I was a band geek growing up. I was a drummer. So for concerts, for band concerts, you know, we have to have our black and white ensemble. I would always wear these black and white striped bell bottoms, and I got teased to no end. But that was what I liked, and it's actually there's an illustration in Screaming to Be Free with me wearing black and white striped bell bottoms because I was like, I'm gonna honor this little girl.
That's so cool. I love that you bring in your childhood self to all your music, because I feel like I sort of do that as well, and I think that some people, some artists, and also some people just in general are like, I left that behind, that's not me anymore. But I think that who we are as children, I think Wordsworth said this, everybody correct me if I'm wrong, he said the child is the father of the man or woman. So I feel like we are all who we are today because of who we are as children.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's where we learn our patterns, our behavior. I mean, most of my life in the last 3 years has had to do with meditation and self-discovery and self-awareness and unraveling all of those things that happened in my childhood to be comfortable with who I am today and to not keep showing up as a little girl. Because if you don't heal a lot of what happens, even if you don't have like a highly traumatic childhood, but especially if you do, you literally operate as that child unconsciously throughout everything in your life. And you wonder why things aren't working sometimes, and it's like, wow, I can see we're in that relationship. I just kept showing up as a 5-year-old. Like, what man wants to be with a 5-year-old?
Yeah.
Seriously, right? So it's, you know, that to me has been a huge part of it, but honoring the child, right?
Yeah.
But doing it deliberately and not from a place of just your unconscious is just
exactly doing
you.
it. I think integrating the child and honoring it is good, because it's not like it's like the Lion King says, you can't change the past, but you have to and as I say, you have to integrate the past with the present and the future, because it's all connected. Because the future hasn't happened yet, and the present is happening right now, and then it suddenly becomes the past. So
the
everything
past and
is
the future are literally just your imagination, because it's just a memory and your vision. But the only thing that you can have any command over or change, effectively create, is now.
Right.
And there's so much power in that once you just get present. Because I was constantly like, I don't want to let go.
No, I was the same way. So I think it's important to just be open. I feel like letting go and giving up are not the same thing. That's what
surrender. Surrender.
You can remember who you are and who you were and be okay with that, but you have to integrate it into going forward with things just make everything work together. And I feel like that message really comes across throughout all your work. That's definitely what I get from it. And you're one of my style gurus, actually. I should have worn the glasses today to honor that, but I didn't. I think I didn't know you were coming until a little bit later. I would have worn the glasses if I had known you were a special guest. Sometimes it's a surprise because I'm guest hosting today. But we used to host the children's open mic here, the all ages open mic.
Once known as Back to the Future.
Yeah, Back to the Future, and yay! I love the 80s. And that was a magical time. I wasn't around yet, but it was a magical time. It was the synthesizer, right? The synthesizer.
That's how I feel about the 60s and 70s. I was like, that's my favorite time. I wasn't here, but it's lit.
But no, those are. I feel like everything we have now is because of those 3 decades.
For sure.
Foundation. They're the childhood of our current adult, of our current generation. But the metaphorical childhood. But you brought you would bring all these costumes for the open mic, and you would bring a feather boa, and you brought these glasses that had bunny rabbit ears on them, and they were really big, and they had these pink bunny rabbit ears. And so I went out and I bought a pair of prescription glasses, because I wear contacts and glasses that were just as big and had pink things on top. Not bunny rabbit ears, but they were literally inspired by those glasses that you brought. So you're influencing people left and right.
That's amazing. I love childlike wonder. I feel like that's where all the magic in life happens.
I think so too. Yeah, and I think if more people would remember that, the world would probably be a nicer place. But
for sure. I mean, I planted whatever seeds in New York I could while I was here. Yeah. And obviously they're growing, so hence the glasses.
Yeah. Okay, I feel like we should get into your next song, but I definitely have more questions to ask you. So what do you want to say as an introduction to this?
So this song, this is another one of those songs that just kind of moved through me. It's called Silence is Golden. It's actually about my sister, who I had been trying really hard to have a relationship with. And it just, no matter what I did or said, I just felt very ineffective. So one day I was playing music in the studio, and literally I sat down and cried, and the whole song wrote itself. And then that was it. But it was very cathartic, and I'm very thankful for it. And I feel like the language and the lyrics are very universal, that people can really take it on as their own.
Yeah.
Like that's my version of that story, but everyone has their own experience of that.
I'm already like thinking of one as you tell the story. All right, Silence is Golden, featuring Jade again.
What's going on, guys? This is Josh here, also known as J La Soul. I am the host soul sessions that are here at Funkadelic Studios every last Friday of the month. All right, so please come out. And the soul sessions are exactly that. They are a session for everyone's souls. You know, like life is crazy. Everyone has their challenges and their tribulations. The soul sessions is a place where you come, just get that healing from music and just the vibes that are around in the area, and from all the different kinds of artists. So please come out. We have 10 open micers. Anyone can sign up for that. So it's show early, and we have 3 amazing features for you guys every time to just blow your mind. So definitely come out every last Friday, and we hope to see you guys.
So that was Silence is Golden, giving everyone the feels and the chills, and she's sorry and you're welcome. And I feel like everybody in that room could identify with that song, and it sort of reminded me of when my mom was having a fight with her best friend. Well, not her best friend, her like casual friend, and she's like, yeah, she was giving me the silent treatment, and then I out silent treatment her, and I was like, okay, we come from the same family. That's what I yeah. And so that was what I was thinking about when I was listening to that, and it's just such a deep song, and I think so many people are going to be moved by it and identify with it.
Yeah,
So.
I just became aware of how much energy I used trying to affect someone, and what she actually taught me was that her silence was more powerful than all that energy that I was putting towards her.
Right. That's actually.
And
really
you give all of your power away when you're like kicking and screaming, and they're like not even really paying attention, or they have their own. You have no idea what anyone else is going through. So
No, you really don't.
Ignoring
Yeah.
you. She's thinking about her kids and her husband, and I'm thinking about me.
Right. Yeah. I think that's a really good way of putting it. You don't know what everybody else is going through. Yeah. And I feel like every time I do one of these interviews, we get into like psychotherapy and philosophy, because that's just my thing. Because I feel like as artists, you have to be aware of these things. I feel like it's all connected.
Yeah.
But you have a very interesting backstory. So you have like 2 degrees. You have
Two master's
degrees in management. So is that music
MBA
management?
and management. My MBA, I made everything about music. Like my final
Cool.
business plan was about opening a mobile recording studio,
Yeah.
doing community service, like having that be a prerequisite for the artists that I work with, and so I've been pretty consistent throughout the years on
That's good.
the vision. Yeah.
That's really great. Maybe that's why you're featured in the Songwriters Circle in Nashville, right?
All right.
Called?
So I'm gonna do my first writers round, which is a circle.
Circle,
in
okay.
Nashville.
Writers Round. Okay,
That's
sorry.
right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of their style in Nashville. It's called a writers round. So usually between 3 to 5 songwriters sit down and you do one song each, and then it goes around and you do another song each.
Oh, that's so cool. And that's in Nashville.
That's in Nashville, yeah.
That's December 1st, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I remembered that part of it. Great.
And it's
So-
through a thing called Nashville is Not Just Country Music, because I am in Nashville and I don't do country. Well, I write for country, but I don't perform.
Yeah, so
country.
you consider what you do, like, I hear a lot of different influences in your style, and that's one of the reasons I like it so much, because I think that artists who are eclectic kind of make the most difference, because it's sort of, you don't have to fit yourself into a box. Like, I definitely hear the R&B, and I know that you do some, like, spoken word and some rapping in songs. I was listening to your Journey of a Gemini album this morning, and I love how you, like, how you integrate spoken word with music and singing, and your voice is so beautiful and pure, and it's sort of like, I feel like you could sing lots of different styles of music if you wanted to, but it's definitely very effective for R&B, and it's sort of like you have this really pure sound and then kind of a funkier sound in the background, and I love stuff like that. So can you tell us a little bit about like how you first started singing, and like what other genres you did, or whether you just went straight to R&B?
Sure. I mean, I started taking voice lessons at a pretty young age. The woman that helped raise me just was aware that I was a singer, and so I started training on Karen Carpenter. She was the very first person that I studied as a singer and songwriter, and I told you I was a drummer, so she was my idol.
I love
she was
Karen
a drummer,
Carpenter.
singer, songwriter.
Yeah.
And she was heartbreaking. I mean, her music, her voice.
Yeah.
And like, I was saying something not too long ago. I was like, it's so unfortunate that she's sang all these sad songs, but she was so sad. And she sang them so well. Her voice and her tone was just, it was literally heartbreaking. So to hear her singing heartbreaking music, it was kind of just aligned with all of it.
Yeah. I was listening to her earlier in this year. I was listening to her version of There's a Kind of Hush. And I feel like I was thinking, I had this vision of doing a really sad version of it, and then I found hers. I'm like, wow, that's like it's so effective that way, because you never, like, I'm used to hearing the happy versions of it, and she just completely makes it her own with her poignancy and her sadness. So
Yeah,
I love that that's one of your
remarkable.
influences.
She was definitely one of the very first. Anne Murray was another. I went to go see her in a concert when I was a little girl. I was the only little person in the audience. She actually called me out.
Oh my god!
Because
really?
she was like, "Wow, this is amazing," because everyone else was like older. So Anne Murray, Celine Dion for sure. I learned when I first started taking French, my French teacher used to have us listen to Celine Dion in French. And that was a big way that I learned how to speak French, was through Celine Dion, because it was easier for me to hear it through music than to read it in a book.
I think that's a great way. I'm teaching myself French right now by, music is, I used to sing in a lot of different languages too, because I was an opera singer, so I picked up a little bit of lots of different languages doing that, and I'm teaching myself French right now using the French version of Let It Go from Frozen, which is Libéré, Délivré. And so I think that's such an integrated and great approach to learning languages, and I think people don't realize that can happen, but it definitely works. So I think that's.
I mean, think about how easy it is to memorize the lyrics of a song versus memorize definitions in a glossary.
I know.
If my entire school experience could have been a musical, I would be like Albert Einstein now.
I think life should be a musical, and everybody doesn't know it yet because they like to make fun of us. But no, like life shows, musical theater shows life as it should be, because you could just sing a song about everything when you're like upset or happy or whatever. Just get out of your system, then go on with your life, and then talk, and then sing, and then talk, and everything is just in the fabric of life.
That sounds like my life.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people where like if you say something and it's a line in a song, I'm going to sing the song to you.
Yeah, but I'll sing the entire song. I'll go on for like 4 minutes singing it, like, and you won't be able to shut me up. So be careful. Just like but also I love. So I know this is like. I think this is like 1 or 2 albums ago, but you did an album called Journey of a Gemini, and I know that's not your most recent project, but I have to ask you about that, because I love that it says, I assume you're a Gemini, because I'm super into Gemini, and you spell Gemini with I-Y-E, and you have a picture of yourself as a little girl.
4 years old.
4 years old,
Yeah.
which, like, I'm going to copy you someday and do a picture of me at 4 years old. I think Jill Scott did that too. I think a couple
Lil
times.
Wayne,
People do it.
a few people have done it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing. Like, I love when people have childhood pictures as an album cover. And so what's that album about, and why did you choose that picture for it, and why did you call it Journey of a Gemini?
So it's a 16-track album. It took, my first release was in 2011, I released that in 2015, so it was 4 years of writing, and as I mentioned, I really feel like looking back on it was such a journey of healing. And I am a Gemini, June 2nd, and I always identified with being a Gemini, like super, my sun and my moon and everything is in Gemini. Like I'm like the extra OD Gemini. And so I feel like I reflect a lot of that duality.
Yeah.
And so for me, when I was working on that project, again, it was like, 4 years in the making. It was about, Gemini is really just speaking about my third eye, higher consciousness. And just the vision of your life before you can see it, before your eyes, you see it in your mind, in your mind's eye, before it actually materializes.
That makes sense. And does that have the song Daydream on it, or is that from a different one?
It is. There's a version of that song on there. That was the original version that we did at Tough Gong called Screaming to Be Free Reggae Remix.
Okay,
There's
cool.
a few different versions floating around.
That's
Daydream,
good. Yeah.
Daydream is a reggae version of it, but it's without Plenty Mac. And for the sake of not confusing all these different, it's called Daydream.
Okay,
It is
I love that song
essentially
too.
the same song. Yeah.
So now everybody's gonna go on their phones on their thumbs and go boom, 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 boom. My dad was watching me go on my phone, and he's like, "What are you doing with your thumb?" And I was like, "I'm writing stuff." And he's like, "What?" And I don't know. Anyway, technology. But Gemini is associated. That was really Gemini is associated with communication and with communication of all kinds, and also
Expression,
business.
creativity, authenticity, duality.
Yeah. So and one more question I want to ask you before we get to the final song, which is the title of your book, which I already asked you about, but I love it. And I'm going to ask you about living in the Bronx and how that influenced you as a writer and as a person, because I feel like everyone, I feel like where you come from and where you spend time influences your songwriting. Like I think even the Beatles, like with Abbey Road, they wrote about actual places that they were. I think every
India,
songwriter, every songwriter ends up like writing about places in a certain way. So what's your take on that, and how did like being a Bronxite?
So as I was telling you before the show, I have lived in New York almost as long as I lived in Rhode Island, which is where I was born and raised. And the Bronx became my second hometown, where I've made amazing friends. And it was my support system, and that really became my family, and the Bronx took me in a way that I had never really experienced. And it's my favorite borough. I mean, so Brooklyn gets, of course, a ton of love. Manhattan is New York City, so you can't really, whatever. I lived in Queens for a little while, which was cool, but the Bronx, there was something about the spirit of the Bronx that I really connected with. Something about the grittiness, the honesty, but like genuine people. I interacted with so many incredible people that really affected me as not only an artist but as a musician and a human being. I was part of a church there that they, as I told you, I was living out of my car for my first project.
Wow.
So the Bronx like showed me love in ways that I can only even scratch the surface of telling you about at this point, but I will say that there are a lot of angels in the Bronx, and I've been fortunate to know a lot of them.
Yeah. Wow. No, I love the Bronx. I feel like it's so big. It's actually like bigger than people. Like it has so many different sections. Yeah. And it has like wilderness to it. There's like there are a bunch of like very green areas as well as like
There's a lot of dichotomy there.
Yeah, there's a lot of dichotomy, and that's what I always found fascinating is the dichotomy of it, because I haven't explored it that much, and I don't have the same experiences with it as you do, but like from the experiences I've had there, I find there is a real dichotomy. There's the grittiness plus like the wide open spaces, which I think is just fascinating, and I think that must be very inspiring for you as a songwriter.
Yeah, I mean, Palm Parkway was where I started back when I moved back to New York, and I had grass and trees, and I lived by the 5 train, and it was the best of all of New York. Like, this is what I want, because naturally, for me, I'm more inclined to be near nature, and so I don't really want to be. I don't need city lights all the time. Like, I like my peace and quiet. You don't get a lot of that in the Bronx, unfortunately. But Palm Parkway was a particularly quiet place, and really, that's where I started laying my roots again when I moved back here. And I lived downstairs from a wonderful family who I've been to daughters' weddings, and I've been they've been woven into my life. So the Bronx is amazing. Palm Parkway is amazing. I love Bronx. Yeah.
Shout out.
What?
El Bronx. That's a reference to last week.
And I definitely get way more street cred talking about the Bronx than I do Rhode Island.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, but I think
we're on the street cred.
Yeah. Yeah, but Rhode Island is part of the same basic area, the Northeast, so we can sort of claim it as family.
It's the ocean state. I have a far vast appreciation, like a far more appreciation for Rhode Island now that I don't live there.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm from Manhattan, so that's like a whole other thing. But yeah, I sort of know what you mean.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's so interesting, because I feel like you have all these like different influences in your music that you incorporate so well. So
thank you.
All right, well, I still have more questions for you, but first let's go to your next song. This will be the final song of today. This is "Screaming to Be Free."
Screaming to Be Free.
Of the famous book at Barnes & Noble, which is "Screaming to Be Free."
This used to be my daydream, and now it's my reality.
screaming to be free. It's screaming to be free. It's screaming to be free. There used to be inside my voice, inside my heart. Now it's screaming to be free. It's screaming to be free. It's screaming to be free. There used to be inside my voice, inside my heart. Now it's screaming to be free. Now it's screaming to be free.
If you are a musician in NYC and you haven't visited Funkadelic Studios yet, what are you waiting for? We've been around for about a quarter of a century, offering services to musicians of all skill levels. Some of the services we offer are rental, repair, recording studio, rehearsal space, rock and roll club, and of course, retail. That's right, we can sell you equipment. And you can even do your events here. We have a beautiful, spacious room right back there. It's called Room 1, and we have lots of other rooms where you can do lots of other things. So come on down, show us what you got. I think that was one of the first songs I heard you ever do.
Oh.
And it's so inspiring, I love it. So, and you've released that in a few different incarnations, right?
Yeah, so there was a pop version that I released on my first EP, which is called Light Shines Through Me. It was just a 3-song EP, and it was the third song on that. And then I put a music video out with it. That got a great response. It's got a lot of different people that have been in my journey in the music video.
Great.
And then I went to the Bob Marley studio, Tough Gong, and House of Hits in Kingston, did a reggae remix. Did a music video for that. It has all children in it. It's amazing.
Yes, I've seen that one. Yeah.
And then it made it under Grammy Daydream. That version of it made it under Grammy consideration for Best Pop Solo Performance and I think Song of the Year for the 59th Annual Grammy Awards.
That's impressive.
Thanks.
Yeah, I actually remember that. That was a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, that was the first time I was ever under Grammy consideration. So
That's
that was like.
You actually got to go to the Grammys? Oh
Yeah,
my
I've
God.
been
What
the
was that
last
like?
2 years. I had a total meltdown my first year, I'll be honest. I think I need to be honest about that because like
Sure.
people like it looks like
They wanna
something.
know, yeah.
I literally spent most of the morning the first time going to the Grammys like on the floor crying on the phone with my self-discovery trainer, the woman that raised me. Actually, I got on the phone with her first and she's like, you need to call Marcy. Because I just literally was like, I don't belong here.
Oh my
I don't
God,
deserve to
yeah.
be here. I freaked out. And so like I was there with my stylist and she's like trying to put makeup on and I'm crying.
Oh my
and
God.
she's like, come on, you are beautiful. You deserve to be here. But I didn't quite believe it.
Right.
So I'm really thankful last year, Kathy, the woman that raised me, came to the Grammys with me. So I felt like, and my date was amazing for the first year too, but to have her there, she has believed in me and helped raise me since I was a baby.
Wow.
So to have her by my side and standing behind me and next to me was like the next year was a totally different experience. And this year's going to be even more amazing. So yeah, it just gets better.
Yeah. So just before I forget, let's just brief the audience on all your upcoming projects. So we have songwriters,
the Writers Round.
The Writers Round in Nashville, December 1st.
Yes.
The Writers Round in Nashville, December 1st. And is that going to be broadcast or is it?
Not unless I do like some kind of Facebook Live or something.
Okay, so for all you listeners in Nashville, you
yeah.
can come see her at that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And your book just came out at Barnes & Noble.
Yep.
Screaming to be Free,
Last
children's
one.
book. So
Yep.
bring your kids.
Hardcover, paperback, and in the next few months I'll bring back the coloring book and do it directly through my website. And I'm working on another children's book, and it's about a little girl learning to play guitar and the life lessons that you learn learning an instrument.
Oh my God, yes.
It's already done. I just have to send it to.
Oh, that's great. So, and then you have a third thing you're doing this year, right? Or is the Grammys?
So I dropped a spoken word album called Maktub on September 3rd. It's dedicated to my cousin who passed away this summer. It's a 12-track spoken word album, and it's definitely my bravest project. Like Journey of a Gemini kind of scratched the surface. Maktub goes all the way in, and like I talk about having a mother that's mentally ill and a father that's an alcoholic, and kind of how that. You know, when we were talking about childhood and stuff like that, how I repeated that relationship throughout most of my life until I became aware of what I was doing.
Wow.
So the project's really inspired by my own healing and growth, and really with the intention of creating a space for others to look within for their own power and their love.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it. So Maktub is the name of it?
Maktub. So it's actually my tattoo.
Oh, wow.
And basically it's defined as either it is written or destiny. So it's all writing. So that was one of the significance. But one of my favorite books is The Alchemist, and that word is used throughout the book because it's
what
really
language is that?
about Arabic.
Okay, great. Yeah.
And it's basically that one hand writes it all. So right. So just understanding that the good, the bad, everything works together to get us where we're going. So that it isn't good or bad. It is just what it is, and it all gets us.
Yeah, I think that's really wise because I think like people are so polarized. We're always like, good.
It's just our judgment.
Good. Well, yeah, I mean,
and that's a matter of opinion.
Yeah, we're like, this is good, this is bad,
Right.
this is good, this is bad. So I sort of like, yeah, and I appreciate your honesty so much because I feel so inspired by it, and I think that I mean I can't wait to hear the spoken word album, and I think like I don't know, in this business some people think that you have to be fake and that you have to present a very calculated false image in order to be successful. So what do you think about that? How did you fight that? How did you fight to have the right to say what you needed to say and also be focused and also, network?
I think it's part of my joy as being an independent artist.
Yeah.
I'm never seeking to be signed anywhere because I always wanted my creative freedom.
Right.
Because music saved my life.
Yeah.
As a child, music is what allowed me to know that I wasn't alone. So as I grew up, that became my responsibility to start paying that forward. So that's how I feel about my responsibility and my role as an artist, as a creator, as a musician, is to really create what was created for me in my own unique and authentic voice and hopefully connect with people the way that I was connected with as a child. Because it literally saved my life. So for me, about being fake and all, I mean, New York is what it is. I told you in the beginning of kind of pursuing music and everything, tight dresses and all this stuff, you have your own beliefs in your mind about what people want, what people are going to be attracted to and all of that. And I wanted everyone to like me. And that's not a winning formula because ultimately in life, not everyone's going to like you.
Yeah.
And as an artist, definitely not everyone's going to like you.
There's nobody who everyone likes.
So I was trying to do so many different things to, get people to like me. And once I got real about that, I was like, wow, all right, this person doesn't like me, and I don't know what else to do. And it was like, why don't I just be myself?
Right.
And then the right people that are connected with me are naturally going to be here because you don't need everyone. You don't need the world. You need the people who need you.
Right.
And that are affected by you, and that's your gift to yourself and to them. And by honoring that, honoring what's authentic in you is empowering other people to do the same. And that to me changed everything for me musically. For sure.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say personally, thank you for saying that because I'm the same way. There was a period where I tried to make everyone like me, and then one day I was just like, screw it, I'm just going to be myself because I'm lucky in that I actually like myself. Some people don't even like themselves.
No, I totally hated myself, which I was unaware of. I had to do a lot of it. Once I excavated that, I was horrified, and I was like, oh my God, I hate myself.
Yeah.
And I had to deal with that for however long until I dealt with that. But yeah, that's amazing that you don't hate yourself.
No, I don't hate myself. It's just I feel like other people hate me anyway. That's the thing. But you just inspired.
That's none of your business.
You just inspired me to get past that. Because some days I'm like, because I made a decision to be myself. And sometimes when you're in the music business, that's the long way. And some people just want to do everything right away and overnight and sell their souls. And I personally can't do that. But I admire your success and your art and your authenticity so much that you've just inspired me to keep being myself. It'll work itself out. And to all you listeners, keep doing that too.
If I can say one more thing just on that. I was saying this, I had a radio show last night and I mentioned this, but it's about setting goals. It's not to say you can't do great things or big things. It's about setting those goals, but it's not about actually achieving those goals. It's about who you become in that process.
Yeah.
And that to me has been all of my magic.
Right. No, I agree with that.
Now it's when I think of the Grammys, I'm not thinking about the award. I'm thinking about the person who experienced it that first year and had a meltdown, to last year who got to walk really confidently in with the woman who has believed in me since day one. Who I have become is, I thank God for music. It's music.
Amen, amen, sister. So I think usually I ask people for a closing thought and for advice to listeners, but I think you just nailed that. So yeah, so and that's in honor of Troy Weeks. Troy Weeks also always like ask the question, but I think unless you have any other closing thoughts, I think that's a really good message to leave people with.
Yeah, just be yourself, and the world will adjust accordingly. For
Nice.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
All in, let the whole world know I'm back at it again. I said, yeah, I'm going all in. Let the whole world know I'm back at it again. I said, yeah, I'm going all in. Let the the whole world know, yo. Yeah, I'm going all in, letting funk know that I'm back at it again. I said, yeah, I'm going all in, letting Brooklyn know I'm back at it again. I said, yeah, I'm going all in, let the boogie down know I'm back at it again. I said,